Dámy a pánové, krásné dobré ráno. Vítejte u třetího dne v rámci CDI tady v Olomouci. Na dnešním programu je 7 soutěží a ty první 2 budou finální úlohy pro mladé koně.
We are now starting with the final competitions of our 5 and then our 6-year-old horses. The FEI test for 5-year-old horses. Final test. We welcome our Grand Jury, Mrs. Effie Eisenhardt from Germany. Also from Germany, Mr. Knut Landsberg and Mrs. Małgorzata Pawlowska from Poland.
Tou první úlohou v rámci dnešního programu je závěrečná úloha pro 5leté koně, která bude hodnocena těmito rozhodčími. Z Německa paní Eisenhardt, taktéž z Německa pan Knut Landsberg, z Polska paní Małgorzata Pawlowska.
And our first horse is in the ring, the Hungarian sports horse, the Fürsten Phoenix by Aranikapu, Fürsten Hit and Ravallo, presented by Kristina Livorski, Hungary.
Prvního koně již máme v obdélníku. Je to maďarský valách po Aranikapu Fürsten Hit a z matky po Ravallo. Fürsten Phoenix předváděn svou chovatelkou a také majitelkou Kristinou Livorski.
Christina Liborski, Tristan Felix from Hungary. Kirsten, thank you.
Svou úlohu nám právě dokončila maďarská dvojice Kristina Liborski a Fürsten Phoenix.
So since the final competition, we have the comments directly from our judges' box, so stay here. Christina.
Yeah, thank you very much, Christina, for showing this horse. The trot work was very regular. The horse was showing all three required tempi, also showing a little bit willingness to collect already, some natural cadence, and also in the medium trots showing clear lengthening, maybe a little bit more pushing power in the medium, 7.8 for the trot. The walk was clear in rhythm, the horse was very relaxed from the first step, but still could show a little more over track and a little more freedom in shoulders, 7.5. The canter was clear in 3 beat, and we really liked the medium canters. They were already quite straight and uphill, but in the collection, the horse could collect a tiny little bit more, especially in the counter canter, show a little more uphill tendency and self-carriage, so 7.2 for the canter today. For submission, the horse was very consistent in the contact today. Really nice train, maybe the contact a little more elastic, and in the turn on haunches, the horse slightly escaped, so 7.8 for the submission. And also for perspective, for us it's a horse with almost a good perspective in dressage sport, 7.8 again. And the final result is 76.2. Thank you.
Thank you, Knut, for doing my job. So 76.2 for Liborski and Tristan Felix.
Děkujeme rozhodčím za hodnocení a tedy finální výsledek dvojice Kristina Liborski a Fürsten Phoenix je 76,2%. A my se přesuneme k 2 českým koním na startu závěrečné úlohy pro 5leté koně. Tím prvním je oldenburský valach Pole Vivaldi z matky po Desperados, Leonardo Vivaldi. Jeho chovatelkou je Maria Musilová a majitelkou jeskyně, která jej dnes předvádí, Vanda Bělinová.
Next in the ring is Leonardo Vivaldi. It's an Oldenburger gelding, bred by Le Vivaldi and the mother's side by Desperados, Vanda Bělinová, Czech Republic. Vanda Belinova, Leonardo Vivaldi.
Svou úlohu právě dokončili čeští reprezentanti Leonardo Vivaldi a Vanda Bělinová a my si zase počkáme na hodnocení od rozhodčí.
Thank you very much, Vanda, for presenting your horse. The trot work, yeah, maybe you stay with us and you can hear what I say. The trot work today was regular, but the horse could show a little more activity, especially in the extensions where it was lacking a little bit of balance in the beginning and also a little bit more of pushing power and lengthening. So the mark for the trot today is 7.0. The walk, as we can see now as well, was directly relaxed. It was through the body, it was active and showing ground cover. But when stretching on a long rein is required, make sure you maintain contact. Yeah, don't let the reins loose. 8.0 for the walk. The canter itself, it's clearing 3 beat, showing uphill tendency, especially in the medium canters. They were really big strides forward. But today the horse did not really show the will to collect. The collection was really much forward. You couldn't really show a transition after the medium canter to collect it. That's why we had to go to a 7.0 for canter. For submission, the horse was obedient today, but the contact should become more steady. And also, as I said before, you should try to show more clear transitions. 6.9 for submission today. And for us, horse with a fairly good perspective in the sport, 7.2 for perspective. That makes a final result of 72.2. Thank you.
So we have lined up the marks and 72.2 the total score. Vanda Belinova, Leonardo Vivaldi.
A výsledek Vandy Bělinové v Leonardo Vivaldi je 75,5%.
One horse left in the 5-year-olds, and then we continue with the 6-year-old horses, prize giving quite after, so stay with us.
Bývá nám ještě jeden 5letý kůň na startovní listině a potom se přesuneme k 6letým. Závěrečné dekorování bude až po odjetí obou věkových kategorií. Do arény nám již kráčí druhý z těch avizovaných českých koní. Je to klisna holandského teplokrevníka Pogla Model z matky po United. Chovatelem je Majer a majitelem Domoplan AS, Primadonna M, v jejím sedle Ida Vavříková.
And here's a third horse in the 5-year-old final test. It's Primadonna M, a Dutch bred mare by Lemonade and United. The horse is owned by Domoplan AS and ridden by Ida Vavříková from Czech Republic. Ida Valčíková and prima donna M. Thank you.
Sledovali jsme závěrečnou dvojici, českou dvojici v rámci úlohy pro pětileté koně Idu Valčíkovou a prima donna M.
Thank you very much, Ida, for presenting this lovely horse. The trot work was very regular, the horse is very active. The working trot could be a little more fluent compared to the collected and medium trot, but especially the medium trots were very well balanced, showing lengthening and good activity. But I already have to mention what we later will have in submission. The horse was throughout in the trot work too short in the neck. You really have to work on to bring the nose more in front, and the horse can easily score higher in all the gates as well. So 7.8 today for the trot. The walk was clear in rhythm, but it took a little time for the horse to relax. The first steps were a little tense, not really showing ground cover, but getting better in the second half, 7.0 for the walk. The canter for us really showed clear 3-beat, uphill tendency, and a lot of spring off the ground. The horse is able to go forward, the horse is already able to take weight, but again, the horse was a little too short in the neck, especially in the counter canter, so 7.8. As I mentioned before, the shortness in the neck, that's why we had to go down with a submission mark to 6.2 today, unfortunately. And the perspective for us, it's a horse with a very good perspective in dressage, but the mark also includes the general impression for today. And I said it before, the short neck, the lowest the mark down to 7.5 today. So the final mark today is 72.6. Thank you.
So finally we have a score of 72.6 for prima donna.
Výsledek Idy Valčíkové a prima donna M 72,6%, což znamená druhé místo mezi pětiletými koňmi. A my se plynule přesuneme ke koním šestiletým v rámci jejich závěrečné úlohy. Šestiletých koní uvidíme 4. První z nich, oldenburský hřebec po Zakarej z matky po Diamond Hind v majetku Doroty a Papy, chovatelem ke Štydlevic Zakenhit a v jeho sedle Gabriela Téčipa reprezentují Maďarsko.
And here's the first horse in the 6-year-old final test. Second hit is an Oldenburger stallion by Blue Horse Zachary and Diamond Hit, presented by Gabriela Téčipa, Hungary. Second hit, Gabriela Tecipap, Hungary.
Právě jsme viděli maďarskou dvojici second hit a vyhostili Gabriela Tecipap.
Thank you very much, Gabriela, for showing second hits. A horse with a very elastic collective trot, active from behind. Unfortunately, today in the extensions, the horse got really wide behind and lost a little bit of regularity and balance. So we had to go down to 7 today for the trot work. The walk was clear in rhythm, showing a lot of overtrack, could maybe in the extended walk be a little more free in shoulders. And in the collection, a little more active and really getting shorter, 7.8 for the walk today. The canter itself, it's really active, showing jump. If you go forward, the horse is really lengthening the steps and also showing collection, but could be a tiny little bit more over the back, and it's jumping off the ground, but could be a little more uphill with it. So 7.5 for the canter. Today for submission, the contact was quite steady. In the lateral work, we would wish the horse a little bit more to carry itself in the bend. It's sometimes a little bit on the inside rein, still in the half passes. And unfortunately today, from 4 changes, only 1 change was clear. That was the first one. So we had to go down with a mark to 6.8 today. For us, a horse with a good perspective, but also the mark includes general impression, and with the mistakes in the final changes, in the flying changes, we had to go down to 7.5 for general impression today. So the final mark is 72.6. Thank you.
So now we have the scores on the screen. 72.6, Gabriela Tecipap, second hit.
Výsledek za second hit se s Gabrielou Tecipap je 72,6%. My se přesuneme k druhému 6letému koni v rámci závěrečné úlohy pro tuto věkovou kategorii. Hanoverský hřebec po Escamillo z matky po Fiorano, chovatelem Hans-Joachim Burdor a majitelem MM Brothers SP. Ebano a v jeho sedle Mateusz Čikoň reprezentují Polsko.
Next in the 6-year-olds test is Ebano, a Hanoverian stallion by Escamillo and Fiorano, owned by MM Brothers SP and ridden by Mateusz Čikoň, Poland. Matteo Sicon and Ebano.
Svou úlohu právě dokončili Mateusz Cichon a Ebano.
Thank you very much, Mateusz, for showing Ebano. We saw a very elastic horse, trotting with big steps. The extensions, medium and extended trot were already well balanced, with a lot of pushing power. Maybe in the collection, the hocks could be a little more under the body, so 8.2 for the trot today. The walk was clear in rhythm, showing ground cover, and what we especially liked was when you showed the transition into collection before the walk period, that the horse kept the rhythm and showed really ability to collect, and so we stayed 8.0 for the walk. The canter showed a lot of uphill tendency, a lot of jump in the medium canter, big strides, really lengthening, and a little bit like in the trot work, in the collection, the horse could be a little more under behind and a really more true collection for a 6-year-old, so 7.8 for the canter. For submission, we saw a quite steady and smooth contact for clear changes, uphill changes, very fluent. The lateral work could be a little better balanced. The trot work, a little more crossing, a little more self-carriage, and of course we have to take into account the second walk period today where he was distracted and neighing, yeah, exactly. So we had to go down to 7.6 today. General impression for us, a horse with a good perspective, 8.0, makes a final result of 79.2. Thank you.
So now we have the final score on the screen. 79.2 for Matteo Sigon's Ebano.
Výsledek polské dvojice Ebano a Mateusz Cichon 79,2%, což znamená průběžné vedení 6letými koní. Nám už se ke startu připravují vítězové včerejší úlohy pro 6leté koně. Uvidíme tedy, jak si budou vést dnes. Odin, Balach holandského teplokryvníka po First Toto z Matkipo United v majetku Fairchild a v jeho sedle Alexa Fairchild reprezentují Belgii.
Next in the ring is Odin. It's a Dutch bred gelding by First Toto United, owned by AF Equestrian and ridden by Alexa Fairchild, Belgium. Alexa Fairchild, Odin.
Svou úlohu právě dokončili Alexa Fairchild a Odin. A my si počkáme na hodnocení od rozhodčí.
Thank you, Alexa, for showing this light-footed gelding. The trot work was very regular, active. In the collected trot, the horse really showed ability to collect. The extensions were a tiny little bit hurried. They can show a little more lengthening, a little more over the back. So we stayed 7.7 for the trot today. The walk was like it is now, very relaxed, clear in rhythm, showing a lot of ground cover in the extension, also keeping the rhythm in preparation of the walk period, 8.5 for the walk. The canter was clear in 3-beat, and also the horse really showed ability to collect, to take the weight. The only thing was in the extended canter, we expected a little more. Try to show more lengthening, more ground cover. So that's why we stayed below 8 for the canter, because of the extension, 7.9 for the canter. For submission, the horse showed lovely changes. One short change was a little shorter, but the other 3 changes were really fluent, up, really easy going. The lateral work already quite well balanced. The crossing, a little more self-carriage maybe in the lateral work. The only thing today was the tiny little tension before the second walk period, and then it didn't really want to depart in canter. So we had to take that into account and went down to 7.8 for submission today. And general impression and perspective for us, a horse with a good perspective, 8.0, makes a final result of 79.8. Thank you.
So 79.8 is the lead now for Odin and Alexa Fairchild in the 6-year-old test.
79,8% a průběžné vedení pro Alexu Fairchild vedle Odina. A nám se připravuje poslední dvojice v rámci závěrečné úlohy pro 6leté koně. Oldenburský valach po Benicio z matky po First Heinrich. Benicio M. a v jeho sedle majitelka Eva Janiševská reprezentují Polsko.
And here is our final competitor, the 6-year-old test, Benicio M. It's an Oldenburgian gelding by Benicio, first handled owned and ridden by Eva Janiszewska, Poland. Eva Janiszewska and Felicio in Poland.
Eva Janiszewská a Felicio Enna ukončili úlohu pro 6leté koně.
Thank you, Eva, for presenting Felicio. The trot work was in the collective trot was clear in rhythm, could show a little more activity and more natural cadence. The trot extensions, the medium trot and extended trot, in the first he lost the balance, was struggling with the balance, got a little irregular and better in the second half. And the second extension, he was above the bit, not really through. Try to keep him more through the pole in the extensions, more over the back, more active behind. 7 for the trot. The walk was clear in rhythm, but could show more overtrack and more freedom in shoulders, but the horse kept the rhythm in the extended, medium, and also in the collection before the periods, so 7.0 for the walk. The canter was clear in 3 beats, but we would wish more uphill tendency, more uphill jump in the extensions, more power from behind, more lengthening of the strides, and also in collection that the horse should bend the joints a little more to show more uphill balance. Today it was quite often on forehand to the canter, so today we had to give it 6.5 for the canter. Submission, the contact should become a little more steady. The horse was obedient today, tried to do everything, but the contact should become much more steady, and especially the self-carriage should be more consistent. Unfortunately today he had severe problems still with the flying changes, so none of the changes worked today, unfortunately, and we had to go down to 5.8 today for submission. Today, for perspective general impression, also because of the missing flying changes, we had to go down. For sure, if you establish the flying changes, the mark can be higher, but today it was 6.2. Final result, 65.0. Thank you.
So, we go with the final score of 65 for Eva and Felicio N.
Výsledek Felicio M sedl s Evou Janiszewskou 65% rovných.
And in a few moments we start with the prize giving for the 5-year-olds final test, followed up by the 6-year-olds prize giving.
A za malou chvíli budeme sledovat slavnostní dekorování nejdříve 5letých koní a poté se přesuneme k kategorii 6letých.
First giving of the FEI Young Horses 5-year-olds final test is presented by Mrs. Małgorzata Pawlowska from Poland, representing the Grand Jury, and for our organizer Mrs. Pavla Vitakova.
Dámy a pánové, sledovali jsme závěrečnou úlohu pro 5leté koně a na slavnostní dekorování jezdcům budou gratulovat za organizátorský tým paní Pavla Vitáková a za sbor rozhodčí paní Małgorzata Pawlowska.
On the third place with the total score of 72.2, Leonardo Vivaldi and Vanda Belinova, Czech Republic.
Místo třetí pro Českou republiku. Skóre 72,2%. Vanda Bělinová a Leonardo Vivaldi.
On the second place, 72.6 for Primadonna M and Ida Wawrzykova, Czech Republic.
Místo druhé taktéž v českých barvách 72,6% pro Idu Wawrzykovou a Primadonna M.
And as in the preliminary test yesterday, on the first place, 76.2 total score for the Hungarian sports horse Fürsten Phoenix and Kristina Lipocki, Hungary.
A vítězství stejně jako včera putuje do Maďarska. Zásluhou dvojice Kristina Lipocki a Fürsten Phoenix. Jejich skóre bylo 76,2%.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now ask you to rise as we play the national anthem of Hungary. Kristina Lipocki, Fürsten Phoenix, and now we celebrate them again as we send them to their well-owed lap of honor.
Kristina Lipocki a Fürsten Phoenix nám zavedou do čestného kola.
So it's not over, ladies and gentlemen. We just follow up with the prize giving for the 6-year-old's final test, and the horses are arriving.
Nastal čas přivítat 6leté koně po jejich závěrečné úloze.
Prize giving of the FEI Young Horses 6-year-olds final test is presented by Mrs. Małgorzata Pawlowska from Poland, representing our grand jury, and in the name of our organizer, Mrs. Pavla Vitakova.
Sledovali jsme úlohu FEI Young Horses Final Test pro 6leté koně a slavnostní ceremoniál nyní uvedou ať za organizátorský tým paní Pavla Vitáková a za sbor rozhodčích paní Małgorzata Pawlowska z Polska.
The fourth place, 6-year-old test, goes to Felicio and Eva Janiszewska, Poland.
Místo čtvrté s výsledkem 65% pro Polsko. Eva Janiszewska, Felicio M.
Oh, the third place, second hit, and Gabriela Teci Pappen, 32.6 from Hungary.
Místo třetí pro Maďarsko, 72,6%. Gabriela Tečipap, second hit.
Now we go to the second place, 79.2 for Ivanon Mateusz Cichon, Poland.
79,2% a stříbrná pozice pro barvy Polska, Ebano a Mateusz Cichon.
And 79.8, again on the podium, top place. First place for the Dutch-bred gelding Odin and Alexa Fairchild, Belgium.
Místo první, stejně jako včera pro barvy Belgie, 79,8%. Alexa Fairchild, Odin.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now ask you to rise and pay attention as we play the Belgish anthem. Ebano doesn't want to take part in the lap of honor. Safety first. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us congratulate and celebrate Alexa Fairchild and Odin.
Dámy a pánové, Alexa Fairchild, Odin.
And of course, it's allowed to clap your hands and make noise at the lap of honor. Then we'll continue this day at 9:30 with the CDI 2-star final, the intermediate 2. 9:30, first starting time.
Sobotní program bude pokračovat v 9:30 úlohou FEI Intermediate 2 v rámci dvouhvězdové tury.